on the Fringe with Dan radio style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We have a bit of a game of chicken, it seems, being done right now. I'm not really thrilled with how this is playing out, but I do have faith in the process, and I do think that this will ultimately work in the end. I think there's some deal-making going on. I think this is kind of a way to get Johnson to agree to certain things. Whatever the case is, we're going to see how this all plays out. But as of the moment of starting to record, they have been through one vote. Speaker Johnson is not Speaker Johnson yet. So we will see what's going on. Hakeem Jeffries currently is getting more votes, but not enough to actually be considered Speaker of the House. Any Republicans cross the line and vote for Hakeem Jeffries, they will never, ever again see office. But this would be pretty catastrophic. It would mess up a lot of stuff if they went ahead and did that to try to mess with Trump's administration. We'll see. This is going to be an interesting game of chicken, as I said. Let's get into the news. This was just a beautiful place to start, and it's, I think, extraordinarily true. And so I wanted to start here. This really is kind of how awakening is. I'm going to say I went through all these phases too. I don't know. I feel like I've always been awake, but I didn't really realize what that meant. But I would say it was right around when I was 18, 19 that I started to get into the panic mode and all that. But the first stage of awakening is blissful ignorance. Very true. Second, what the F? Nothing makes sense. That's pretty true. Third, oh my God, we're so effed. Yeah, and that was me right after high school. Ended up buying a pickup truck because I knew the roads were going to get washed out. This was forever ago. Roads never got washed out. Panicked, though. Freaked out. That's fun. 4, sheeple masses wake up. F up indoctrinate. What is this? Sheeple masses wake the F up indoctrinated morons. Yeah, just you start freaking out about everybody that's not awake. So you start waking up and you're like, everybody's asleep. Everybody's asleep. They're going to destroy us. Number 5, really wake up. Stop living in denial and fear and complying. So again, you're freaking out about everybody else. 6, get off my property. That's a guy with a gun, right? Just get off my property. pretty close to how it starts to happen. You start to kind of freak out even further. 7, the New World Order will fail. And there's always alternative for the rest of my life, which of course is the Sarah Connor from Terminator. That's kind of an interesting path to go. The 8th step, becoming the most loving and joyful person in this greatest rebellion ever. That's actually when you finally kind of really realize you're actually the reason. You're the thing. You're what needs to change. Not everybody else. You. So it's a powerful step when we finally hit that 8th stage of awakening, realizing that it's all about us being the most joyful, happy person in spite of all the crazy that's going on around us. You're a demonstration, but 2, it's actually how you bring about a better world. 9, rise above all the differences and unite to triumph, then perspire to succumb. Perspire? Anywho, 10, become the leader of the resistance and humanity's last hope. 11 is one of my favorite. Learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like your father before you. Now, my dad was no Jedi, that's for sure, but if you actually study the Force, the concepts of the Force, or even Law of One for that matter, probably 2 of the best universal laws that exist, or spiritualities that exist across the expanses, not just the one that this planet seems to be fond of, or the ones this planet's fond of, but actually stuff that seems to fit multiple civilizations across multiple planets. And the 12th, wait patiently for everyone to catch up. And yes, it may seem lonely at times, but really, it's what it's all about. Being an example, being a teacher of teachers. You guys are here to help a lot of people wake up through this process. So just take that responsibility as seriously as you can and do the best you can with it, and understand that everything's in God's timing. Powerful stuff at the football game that was postponed one day, the Sugar Bowl, I believe it was, out in Georgia. Was it Georgia or Louisiana? Louisiana, I guess. It was I'm going to get it wrong, but the Georgia Bulldogs, I think, and playing the Fighting Irish. But very cool. Fans were chanting USA at the Sugar Bowl in Nolans, and it's pretty cool. Check this out.
Pretty cool. That's what we do. After tragedy, we often come together as a country, and just to see the crowd do that I think it was the fight. It was USA against the enemy. Even though this guy was a homegrown terrorist, this was an attack on our republic. He subscribed to radical Islam, and the American people that were there that, pledged allegiance to that flag all came together last night, despite the victims just now starting the mourning process.
It's kind of funny. We have Kamala Harris jacking up the Pledge of Allegiance here coming up in just a few minutes. Attention parents, this has got a foreign-made toy. It's an AI toy. Any of you guys that are buying crap like this for your kids understand that you're buying crap like this for your kids. They are going to be taught things that you probably don't want them to learn. Just something to keep in mind. Oh, Daddy, I want it. Daddy, I want it. Be careful. Be careful what they wish for. Sometimes you got to know better than what your kids are asking for. Check this out.
This is Miko, the AI robot I bought for my 2.5-year-old who's obsessed with robots for Christmas. Hey, Miko, what's today's date?
It is Saturday, December 28th, 2024.
All right, we're watching the Rams-Cardinals game. Hey, Miko, who's going to be the 47th president of the United States?
The 47th President of the United States is Kamala Harris. She is an amazing leader.
Well, not true and not true. She didn't even make it to Iowa 4 years ago, but okay. Hey, Miko, who is the 46th President of the United States?
The 46th President of the United States is Joe Biden. He's like the captain of a big ship called America, leading us towards a bright future.
Well, my wallet tends to differ big time. Okay. Hey, Miko. Hey, Miko. Who was the 45th President of the United States?
The 45th President of the United States was Donald Trump. He was in charge from 2017 to 2021.
Oh, nothing about a great economy, no new wars. This is Miko. It's for kids. It's AI. It shouldn't be doing this. This is propaganda. Do not buy it.
Seriously, do not buy it. Understand that your kids are being poisoned by what they're being told in school, being poisoned by everywhere. Potato just awarded Liz Cheney the Presidential Citizens Medal.
Elizabeth L. Cheney for putting the American people over party.
L for loser. She's like, just let me go. This is embarrassing enough, please. It's embarrassing enough, you piece of trash. Here is Kamala Harris. Not really sure how the Pledge of Allegiance goes.
Join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
Okay. You should probably know that, especially if you're swearing people in, which here she is doing, swearing in the new senators.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter, so help you God?
I do.
So that was that. The new people are sworn in as far as the Senate's concerned. Some information we've got about the apparent plot to harm employees at a Florida's office of the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, the AIPAC. Apparently a guy wanted to go down there and shoot up some people. Was doing a initial trial run or kind of doing some, I don't know, whatever, when you kind of go out and sort of assess the situation before you actually come back with weapons. It was on his way back with weapons that he was doing a ride share, which is kind of funny. And he got busted, got caught. So this was all going to happen on the 25th of December, the first night of Hanukkah. So yeah, this is not cool. Dude got busted by the FBI. You almost got to wonder if the FBI was behind it, because again, you've got this video This is newly released video from the FBI of the individual suspected of placing explosive devices near the DNC. The same FBI that apparently just thwarted this attempt at the AIPAC's people, but they still cannot figure out who this dude is. Again, if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you. Oh yeah, there's not any audio here, but dude walks in, has got his little bomb or whatever, puts it down next to the infamous bench. Now, it's funny that we've got this view because there's also another camera angle that kind of shoots in from this angle that was supposed to be turned away but wasn't. That's also interesting. Whatever the case is, they literally can't figure out who this guy is. That's just insane. So, yeah, zero faith in the FBI, yet whenever the FBI is like, no, we did something wonderful, it's like, sure you did. I'm sure you did. You guys are idiots. No offense, there's probably some good FBI people, but the upper management in FBI is absolutely retarded. In fact, that's mean to say to retarded people. They're beyond retarded. They're less than retarded. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what's worse, because then, that would be cruel. Whatever the case is, yeah, dude's a pile of trash. He can get away with this. Walks and talks to the cops. We've seen all the videos. It's just insanity. So, again, yeah, do we have any faith in the FBI? No, zero faith in the FBI. New Orleans ISIS terrorist Shamsud Din Jabbar had bomb-making station and the Quran opened to chilling passages in his home. Now, they're showing this. They're making a big deal about this. I find this is meant to, this is supposed to create an emotional response. What's the emotional response? Anger, fear. It's supposed to make you hate Muslims, right? Anything that divides us as people further is, in my opinion, problematic. Not everybody's bad. We've got people that are bad in this country, but what they're trying to do is get us to generalize across the board. And then secondly, they're trying to inspire more people on the right to go out and commit crimes. All said, this is the little stupid news thing that they did. I would say check it out, I guess is what we're going to do. So here it is.
We are here inside the New Orleans terrorist home. You can see that it's been clearly destroyed, the door at least, from the FBI raid yesterday. But if we walk through the home, we see some signs of what he was up to. He had this work area here, lots of different chemicals splayed around, and different electronics. This is, again, a work setup. Left receipts, just very unkempt in here. If we go over here, actually, you can see the Department of Justice documents here, the search warrant, and the property that they recorded here, which seems to be a lot of chemicals. Again, just left in disarray. There's a bedroom back here, and what appears to be his collection of religious materials, his Qurans, an open Quran with a passage there, as well as even the Bible here, but mostly books on Islam, and his prayer rug just to the left of me here. And if we go back, there's another bedroom here. You can see he left all these belongings, contact lenses, personal belongings, his bathroom. This seems to be some sort of workspace, again, with other chemicals here. The light's still on, some kind of station set up here. We're not really sure what that was for. In, what we can assume was also a bedroom. You can see clothes left here, and just a sign that someone was here up until those last few moments when neighbors said he left just before the New Year's holiday, saying he was done with his lease, it was up, and he was on his way to New Orleans where he would live there. Didn't take any furniture because he said his new home would be furnished. That's all we know so far.
And again, this whole idea that, she's like, and this is how it was left. It's like the FBI raided the place and was looking at stuff all over the place. So this assumption that this is how it was left is probably not necessarily true, but whatever the case is, again, they're wanting us to very much feel like this guy was, he was planning it, certainly, and he certainly got radicalized by ISIS. One thing that's kind of funny that's been pointed out here, and Elon Musk is like, good question, because this guy Mike is asking, what's going on at Fort Bragg? So the suspects in yesterday's attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans and Trump Tower in Las Vegas both served at Fort Bragg, the same military base that Ryan Ruth visited over 100 times before attempting to take Donald Trump's life. He didn't attempt to take Donald Trump's life. He was in the bushes with a weapon, could have, but he did not attempt. He didn't. Attempting is actually pulling the trigger, and that would be an attempt. Having a weapon, you can't prove he was going to shoot Trump. Of course he was, but again, it's kind of a funny little thing how we forget the little specifics. Nonetheless, Ryan Ruth had been to Fort Bragg, multiple times. Many times. I said 100 times. That's sort of strange. One's got to wonder what's going on at Fort Bragg, don't you? You definitely would think that would be the plan. I want to remind you guys of this new product we've gotten. I love it. I just took mine this morning, the Stem Active. This stuff's incredible. So stem cells are actually cells that are able to sort of become any cells in the body. And what's great about stem cells is when the body needs help, say maybe you've got some damage in the lung or damage someplace, what these stem cells do is they receive a signal from like the lung, and it's like, hey, we need more help. We need more lung tissue down here. And so the stem cells go, oh, cool, and they go taking off to the lung, and they have the ability to mimic or essentially become lung cells. And it's a great way that our body heals. One of the problems as we get older is the stem cells start to dissipate rapidly. What this actual product does, Stem Active, is it actually enhances your stem cell count immediately after taking the pills. Immediately after taking the pills, it helps your overall count by something like 40% of what your normal number should be. It enhances that significantly. And these cells will help repair, these cells will help regenerate, and these cells will help keep you healthy. So Stem Active is one of the best products that we've got here. Also, the Stem Active Gel is incredible. This is has to do with combating aging. And so we've got these key rolls, right? The Stem Active. So this is a gel. You can do it that way. You can do it as the pills. They've also got it for pets. We'll get there in a second. Amaze is a collagen product, and it might show up, for a lot of us, wrinkled or sagging skin, weakened or sore muscles, discomfort in joints, weakened or lifeless hair, and more. This product actually helps with that amazingly. It's all natural collagen to your daily routine. You just drink it. It's got a berry flavor, lemon berry. It's a little weird. I actually started getting used to it. At first, it was but it's not that bad. And you do start to get used to it. It's a powerful way to help get that collagen in your body, which is the most important protein in our bodies. A12, fortify your body's defense against free radical damage with powerful antioxidants from nature. Their cutting-edge formula, A012, absorbs, or AO, I'm not sure which it is, antioxidant, probably AO. It absorbs into your body easily, helping become a protective force in your immune system. Again, one of those things that we all need a little help with. Also, this one's one of the other ones I'm doing right now. I've got 3 of these things going on in my personal life. Nitric oxide is supposed to help with your heart health, just extra energy, extra libido, if you will. It's doing all of these things. And this is a powder, again, got a funky flavor. Not bad. I mean, it's not a bad flavor. It's berry flavored. But again, the first few times you try it, you're like, yeah. But it, again, is growing on me a little bit, and it doesn't bother me. Just pour the powder in your mouth, kind of swish it around till it dissolves. Boom, you're on your way. Powerful products. And then, of course, they've got Stem Active for pets, some sort of chewable that is a stem cell for your pets. So the same thing that happens in us also happens in pets, and they've got a great little Stem Active Pets product. So go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com, danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Also, a funny way they say this instead of healthy home is heal thy home, which is also powerful. So go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Make sure you sign up, make sure you become a member, but certainly you want to check out Stem Active is one of the best, and the collagen supplement, incredible stuff. Highly recommend these products, and they've got some other great stuff going on. So please come check them out. And they've got Amaze, they've got the Prime, they got AO2, and they've got smart shipping and the whole 9 yards available. It's very, very good stuff. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com and make sure you get that first big step towards keeping yourself healthy. Again, I'm really into health products. I'm really into your financial help, also into sleeping well at night. So the stuff I try to push is stuff that's generally going to be better for your overall well-being, if you will, is what we're going for here. All right, so we've got a lot going on here to continue with the individual in the Cybertruck. The driver had sustained a gunshot wound to the head, we've come to find out. We're going to go ahead and let this little, 6 minutes. I don't know if I want to play all that. The driver had a gunshot wound to the head. He had several firearms that were discovered inside the vehicle, including a Desert Eagle 50 caliber semi-automatic pistol and an SLR B-30 firearm. The identification and credit cards found on the body did belong to Matthew Livelsberger. A military identification, a passport, fireworks, iPhone, and smartwatch were also in there. Apparently his body was burnt beyond recognition, so they were unable to tell who he was for sure. Again, we've got video of him in the charging station. We've got all the ID that was apparently on him. And oddly, what's fun and funny is the people... they all seem to have passports that survive explosions. 9/11, they fell from the sky from the airplane. Somehow the passports from the terrorists managed to make it to the street. Again, it's just kind of funny how passports seem to be just this inanimate object that is impervious to all forms of destruction. There's a guy that actually put out a funny meme, and it shows like a bulletproof vest that's just got a bunch of passports all around it and all over it. And it's like, this obviously is the most protective thing you can put on your body because it stops fire, it stops bullets, it stops everything. Pretty crazy how all that plays out. Elon Musk is dispatching a team to assist with the extracting video footage from the cameras within the Cybertruck that exploded in Vegas. Here's the police talking about that.
Vegas with Univision Vegas. I was wondering, were you able to recover the video from the Cybertruck, or was that destructive?
So the question is, are we able to recover the video from the Cybertruck? And many of you may know that those Cybertrucks contain a tremendous number of cameras. Mr. Musk has sent out a number of his folks that will be arriving here this afternoon with the intent to try to capture the part of that captured all of the video from inside of the truck. Sir?
I don't know if that's cops or sheriff. The star always makes me look like I think it's sheriff, but yeah, I don't know my police stuff well enough. The stunned family of suspected Las Vegas Cybertruck bomber Matthew Livelsberger. They say the Army veteran was a big Trump supporter who loved his time in the military. Interestingly, he's got his Ukraine shirt on. I have a very hard time believing that he was pro-Trump, being pro-Ukraine. So somewhere along the lines, he probably got radicalized in some way, shape, or form. Again, don't know for sure. There's a lot of people suspicious that this guy was a full-on patsy. That's very possible. Don't know. Again, we just don't know. We know someone that had his ID and then was burned beyond recognition was capable of, blowing up himself or dying first and then blowing up. Now, again, some of the questions around this guy are the weapon he chose to use. There's some people with very strong opinions about that. Now, what is very funny is this. So he was found with a gunshot wound to his head. He was Fort Bragg, like the New Orleans driver and Ruth as well. Rented from Turo, just like the New Orleans guy. Same day as the New Orleans attack. He was a Green Beret bomb expert, yet he used amateur explosives. That's weird. Why would you use fireworks when you could make your own explosives that are significantly more powerful? That's strange. So why was that? And then did someone put his corpse in the car? Remember, the car is fully self-driving. But Elon Musk actually makes a point to that. And again, I'm going to kind of trust Elon Musk on this more than I'm going to trust people speculating. Elon Musk says autopilot will not function unless it detects an attentive person in the driver's seat. Now, I don't know how they gauge attentive. I would assume open eyes is part of the software. That would be a very key thing, that their eyes are actually open. If the eyes are closed for any period of time, then the car should theoretically pull over to the side of the road and stop. So he's saying that that's not necessarily possible, which would imply, did the dude shoot himself while he was out in front of Trump Tower? In which case, none of the images we saw, and again, they're not very good from inside the building, but you would have to assume if the dude shot himself, there would be either A, all sorts of nasty residue inside the car, B, some sort of what would look like a bullet fragments hitting the glass or hitting parts of the inside of the car. Again, nasty parts would probably be blown all over. None of that seemed to have been prevalent before the fire broke out, but again, not real good views of what happened, but hard to say. Now, Elon says they're bringing the Cybertruck used yesterday back to Tesla, where they're going to buff out the scratches and get it back out on the road. He's being facetious, basically, but they are going to get it back. They're going to look over the cameras. They're probably going to run some diagnostics, check the computer, see what works. Musk did point out something that's kind of funny. He's like, one, just the fact that the car looks in reasonably good shape. Two, the tires are still inflated. Like, he's just like basically going, dude, this thing handled admirably considering it had someone blow some stuff up inside of it. So yeah, they're going to kind of get it back to Tesla, and we'll see what all they can figure out from there. Now, Biden again tells us that the FBI has briefed him and that we should trust the FBI and trust what they say. I don't for 1 second, but here's the stupid shit he's saying.
An hour from my Homeland Security team. The number of people killed in New Orleans has risen to 15, including the attacker. 35 people were injured. Today, the FBI briefed me that as of now, we have no information that anyone else is involved in the attack. They've established that the attacker was the same person who planted the explosives in those ice coolers in 2 nearby locations in the French Quarter just a few hours before he rammed into the crowd with his vehicle. They assessed he had a remote detonator in his vehicle to set off those 2 ice chests. So there's no question that, remember all the talk about other people were involved, placed in, they have him. They have established he's there, and even established that he had a detonator to explode those ice chests. As I said yesterday, the attacker posted several videos just several hours before the attack, indicating his strong support for ISIS. Federal law enforcement and the intelligence community are actively investigating any foreign or domestic contacts and connections that could possibly be relevant to the attack.
And again, I don't trust him. I don't trust the FBI. I don't trust any of that. If he was going to remotely detonate all these ice coolers, the 2 of them at least, why didn't he? He drove by them already. Supposedly he's the one that put them out there. Why didn't he blow them up? Did they not work properly? It's possible. Who knows? Again, don't trust it. I would have an easier time believing that the FBI actually planted the bombs. We've seen federal agents that obviously planted pipe bombs for the DNC, and they've never been able to capture them. So I have zero faith in the FBI. Zero faith in the FBI or in Biden to tell us the truth. So whatever. That's what they're telling us. It's probably crap. Doubt it's true. Whatever the case is. Oh, yeah, cool. I do have the meme. This is funny as hell. Richard Gage, I don't know. He introduced the latest innovation in protection, the passport vest. Field tested on 9/11, it can withstand rifle rounds, explosions, fires, airplanes flying into skyscrapers, and building collapses. And it sends out a distress signal so the FBI can find it. That's funny as hell because the FBI is always able to find the passport somehow magically, even though it fell down from thousands of feet up, partially on fire. Yes, hard time believing that. Now, here is somebody that is kind of saying something, I don't know. I find this funny. It was like back-to-back stories, and I think it's hilarious because they contradict, it's immediately contradicted. So this is what this person posted. This is exactly what I said on Brainstorm Joe's show today. I don't know who that is. A Desert Eagle 50 cal is about the least practical sidearm anyone would carry. No gun owner or gun lover or military person in their right mind would actually choose to carry a Desert Eagle 50 cal. The narrative on this one is Fugazi. Okay, so no gun owner, no gun lover, no military person in their right mind would actually carry a Desert Eagle. I'm 100% sure people would carry it because it's a 50 cal and it's a hand cannon. But it is not necessarily practical by any stretch of the imagination. But what is sort of funny is this. Does the Israeli military use the Desert Eagle? And yes, that is the answer. Yes, the Israeli military does, in fact, use the Desert Eagle pistol as a sidearm for some units. It is particularly favored for its stopping power and reliability. No gun lover, no gun owner, no military person would use something like this weapon, except the Israeli military. Now, again, the people are using this as like, well, see, that just tells us that the person in the car was obviously Israeli military. Maybe, not necessarily. And the erroneous conclusions that you provide over here about how nobody in their right mind would actually have this weapon, well, you're wrong about that too. So why would we assume any of this to be accurate? We shouldn't. We shouldn't at all. People are talking out their asses. I do it all the time. I do it for a living. But I at least try my best to offer at least why I'm talking out my ass, right? This right here does not prove that this guy was Mossad. He certainly could have been, but then why would he have killed himself? Could have handled that a whole bunch of different ways. They could have put a dummy in there. Could have put something that pretended to be awake and then have it drive to the Trump Tower and then blow it up. This could have been handled so many different ways than how it was handled. So I don't buy the, well, they wouldn't use a weapon like that. I don't know. I know a lot of crazy people that totally would get a weapon like that because it's a friggin' 50 cal pistol. It's a 50 cal. That's gnarly. That's a lot of power in a pistol. It's probably, again, extraordinarily heavy. The gold one's stupid, but I mean, whatever. Like, it's a Desert Eagle. It's a Desert Eagle. It's considered a pretty powerful cannon, that's for sure. So we got some other weird stuff that was happening, is happening, I guess, all over the place. So in South Carolina, I-85 got closed following a reported bomb threat involving an 18-wheeler. I don't know if this actually looks like an 18-wheeler. It looks like some sort of work truck, not necessarily an 18-wheeler, but whatever the hell. Let's just not get lost in details. Those suck. But here is this freeway being shut down while they try to deal with this guy and his potential bomb threat. That's not an 18-wheeler. Just FYI, guys. There's, what, 4 tires in the back and then 2 more. That's a 6-wheeler. That's a 6-wheeler. That is not an 18-wheeler. Unless they've got one. Oh, maybe that's it. Oh, that's the 18-wheeler. All right, well, that works. That works. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. There we go. That's actually an 18-wheeler. Okay. I'll stand corrected on this one. Now, again, you could put a lot of crap inside of that and make it blow up big. So who knows? I don't know if they got it or if they put it out or we hadn't heard any explosions. So Payette police have arrested a suspect after an IED was found near a train car. They followed the tracks in the snow and they were able to find him and the device itself. It didn't seem like this was done very well, but Brent Charret, he fled from the camp trailer on foot but surrendered after a short pursuit, taken into custody. Again, they were able to wrestle this safely. Union Pacific was also notified. All trains scheduled to travel through the incident site were put on standby for about 5 hours as the FBI tried to figure out whether it was theirs or somebody else's. We've got a fire that erupted in New Orleans' French Quarter, specifically along Chartres Street. I'm going to learn how to say this here in a second. But 15 people apparently have been injured and others, leading to speculation about whether this fire might have been related to ongoing security issues or just happens to be coincidental. I think most of us know better than to think anything's coincidental, but here's this breaking news.
Investigators are looking into what caused a fire in the French Quarter. Yeah, it happened on Charter Street. Jonah Gilmore has more details. Jonah?
Well, that fire here in the 1200 block of Charter Street is under control, but this is still an active scene. You can see there are multiple fire units here on scene and multiple fire personnel working to attack the hotspots you see here. You can see these firefighters right here walking away from that building, but also if you take a look up, you can see there's a firefighter on a ladder with water going into the roof of that building. Now, according to the New Orleans Fire Department, the first call came in around 2:17 this afternoon, and fire crews were on scene within minutes. The fire department tells WDSU when they arrived here, they saw flames shooting from the roof, which was an indicator that the fire had been burning for some time. We're told that this isn't the first time fire crews have been to this specific building to fight a fire. The fire department telling us they've been here just a few weeks ago when another fire broke out. You can see some of the boards on this building are boarded up from that previous fire right there. This home here also sitting next to a hotel here in the French Quarter. We're told that this home where the fire took place was abandoned at the time. Fire crews are telling us that they've had to come here multiple times because of what they say were squatters living inside.
There wasn't anyone in the building, but we do have reports from people in the area saying that they saw people in there.
Well, I think the building's not been lived in. It's maybe abandoned. It looks like it. And unhoused people keep breaking into it and starting fires, maybe living there and starting fires. And we've made great efforts to try to stop this, but it continues to happen.
Right now, their fire is under control, but the cause of the fire remains under investigation. We'll be sure to bring you the very latest updates as we learn more on air and online. Reporting in the Fringe Quarter, Jonah Gilmore, WDSU News.
Yes, some scary moments there. Thankfully, they were able to get that under control.
It certainly sounds potentially coincidental, obviously, because no one was living there and stuff, but who knows? It's just more of the crazy. Lafayette police at around 5:38 p.m. Thursday responded to Acadiana Mall on Johnston Street near Ambassador Caffery Parkway in response to reports of an individual inside, possible armed with a gun. Sergeant Matthew Benoit, public information officer, said in a news release, the mall, he said, had been evacuated and law enforcement officers are conducting an interior sweep of the building. No shots have been fired and there are no injuries at this time, is what Benoit was telling us. So we'll see, again, how that works. U.S. Army soldiers allegedly linked to hacked Trump-Harris phone records has officially been charged by the feds. This went back earlier in the year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the date. But this guy got busted. He had phone records from Trump and from Harris and was trying to sell them. So, again, that's just super duper illegal. This unclear what rank Wadgenius held in the Army, what his role was at Fort Cavazos, and whether his position as a soldier aided him in carrying out his alleged crimes. So, again, more of this American-born problematic people. This is not so much terrorists as much as hacking, which is still super bad. And we have no tolerance for people within our own ranks in our own country selling out people within our own country, even if you don't like them politically, which would go to both sides, right? There's people that hate Trump, shouldn't be doing that and giving out his stuff. And people that hate Kamala Harris shouldn't be giving out her stuff. That's not okay. FBI and other agencies issues bulletin warning of a copycat or retaliatory attacks after the New Orleans rampage. They are, one, ramping up the narrative. They're talking about it a lot. They're trying to get people fired up. This is why there's so much emotional stuff. That's why the Quran was brought into play. They're trying to get anybody to react. Anybody. And it's always going to be emotion. It's going to be people that are going to be freaking out. Remember that first slide I showed about the steps of awakening? It's going to be people in those first 5, 6, 7 steps that are going to go out and do stupid things. Even the people on our side of the fence that are awake, quote unquote, even though you're far from awake. Get your Jedi self together before you start doing stupid stuff. This is a mess, and they're trying to inspire copycats right now. So be on the lookout. If you see something, say something. I mean, just all the standards. You guys know the rules. We've also got a small aircraft that crashed into a commercial warehouse in Fullerton, California. Reports indicating there are casualties. This thing just crashed right into the roof of this large building. Now, I will say, every time I've flown into John Wayne Airport, you fly over a crap ton of warehouses like this. So there is a lot of that going on. It crashed right through the roof. It just literally went through it. I think we do have a video coming up next that shows a little more of this, but we'll check out a couple of these. Yeah, roofs don't exactly hold up well when it comes to busting through. Check this out. Yeah, I guess they were just waiting to take off or taxi, and we're recording, so all said. Yeah, a little crazy how that played out. Here's an actual video. It's kind of whitewashed, so it's hard to see, but this is of the plane crashing into the roof. You can kind of make it out. It's a pretty crap video. Yeah, I don't know if I think they played a second time. Big boom, though. That really made a lot of mess. It, again, is suspicious beyond words, but yeah, we've got a lot of very strange things happening in a very short period of time. There are no coincidences. We are under attack, folks, unquestionably. Schumer has appointed Adam Schiff to the powerful Senate Judiciary Committee. Yeah, is what it is. Okay, they're trying to protect and prepare for Trump as best they can. How that plays out, we'll see. General Mike Flynn put this out today, and I thought this was pretty good. Lately, I don't know. Lately, Flynn's been kind of a little all over the place, but this is pretty solid stuff. Terrorist attacks in New Orleans, now reporting multiple IEDs and multiple terrorists, not all captured yet. Now, again, the FBI has told us this isn't true, but we don't trust him. Terrorist attack in LV, Las Vegas, now believed to be a suicide IED vest of some kind. Drones, where did they go? It's kind of an interesting question. Where did the drones go? Now, I still think a lot of it is because there's holidays, and I think some of this stuff is that. But, yeah, that's a big question. Why did they just suddenly stop all the time during Christmas time? That's strange. You can speculate from it, but it doesn't mean any of our speculations are going to be accurate. But where did they go? Our border is still wide open. There is clear uptick of increased Iranian activities inside the United States. Massive cyber attack reported recently against the U.S. Treasury. War in the Middle East radically changing for the worse with the advent of a new terrorist organization taking charge of Syria and elsewhere across the region. War in Eastern Europe raging on with use of nuclear weapons still on the table. China military buildup occurring and is the largest in over 50 years. Remember, to keep America strong, we need to focus on America first. Instead, because of our sustained and disastrous plunge into Ukraine to the tune of billions of dollars and its not to be outdone disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, along with the trillions, yes, trillions of dollars spent on the Iraq and Afghan wars, we are in a death spiral of biblical proportions. The loss in military and human treasure is absolutely unconscionable. I want real Donald Trump to stay safe and be ready on day 1, 20th of January, and he and that day can't be here soon enough. And as I've said many times before, stay steady. And we all need to do exactly that. Thomas Massie right now is playing a very dangerous game, in my opinion. I, right now, do not like him. Doesn't mean he's not doing what's right for this country. But at this point in time, Thomas Massie, you are definitely persona non grata. You are definitely somebody I hope never ever sees office again. And I pray to God my opinion changes by the end of the day. But right now, I consider you to be the largest pile of shit that we currently have within our House of Representatives. You are causing us to walk into very dangerous territories. We'll see how it plays out. And I hope, I'll take it back. The threats that you say someone could do to, you still wouldn't change your vote. Now, there's this weird part of me that almost wonders,
if Chip Roy were asked to serve as chairman of the Rules Committee, would that be enough to get your vote for Mike Johnson?
Oh, no. You can pull all my fingernails out. You can shove bamboo up in them. You can start cutting off my fingers. I am not voting for Mike Johnson tomorrow. And you can take that to the bank. You know that,
Who are you voting for,
Matt.
Thomas? Who are you voting for?
we actually find out who he votes for. But yeah, Thomas Massie, you are definitely doing some dangerous stuff. Pray to God you know what you're doing, buddy, because otherwise I hope to God you never, ever, ever get voted back into office ever again, because you're not explaining what you're doing, and you're going against Trump right now, which is not good. Again, is this part of the show? Very possible. Very possible. But you are going against Trump. You are going against MAGA, Thomas. Piece of shit. So right now, you're not getting any love from me at all. And if this doesn't play out well, I hope we see fewer fingers on your hands. That's all I can say. Donald Trump, good luck today for Speaker Mike Johnson, a fine man of great ability who is very close to having 100% support. A win for Mike today will be a big win for the Republican Party, and yet another acknowledgement of our 129-year most consequential presidential election. A big affirmation indeed. MAGA. So thanks, Massie, for going against that. You stupid piece of shit. Have I said it enough yet? No, I'm probably going to say it a few more times. Jake Sherman posted this. Now, this is, I don't know, interesting in that right now Johnson has not made it through the first round. So he's wrong, but I sort of agree with what he's saying. Jake Sherman has this little conversation that apparently he had with someone named Emmer, Tom Emmer, upon leaving Johnson's office. Emmer says, I think he gets in on the first ballot. That definitely didn't happen. Me, why is that? What are we missing? Emmer, I think he's going to be fine. You're not missing anything. Your job is to report all this stuff. I don't think you're missing anything. Me, there's a bunch of people who are saying they're not for him or they're not sure about him. Emmer, can you tell me someone who has said no? Me, I can't tell you someone who has said no besides Massie. Emmer, yeah. So he's going to be fine. And that might be true. It might just be the pile of shit Massie that's actually saying no, maybe. And it is interesting that he's on with Matt Gaetz, who has done similar things. He got McCarthy out of there, so kind of kudos. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not going to pretend. This could very well be part of the game. So I'm accepting that. How many votes does Mike Johnson need for House Speaker? This is a really important number. 218 votes. If all 434 lawmakers show up Friday, the winner will need to get 218 out of 434. If a lawmaker votes present or otherwise doesn't vote for a particular candidate, then a winner would need 217 out of 433. Currently, Johnson expects one solid no vote from Rep. Thomas Massie. So if everyone shows up to vote and given Republicans slim 219 to 215 majority, he can't afford even a single more GOP defection and still get to the 218 mark. 218. Very, very, very close indeed. Rep. Catherine Clark says no Democrat's going to vote for Mike Johnson as Speaker. Democrats are going to be at full strength at 215. That's supposedly the biggest number they can pull. And they are, quote, committed to voting for Hakeem Jeffries for Speaker because he has shown time and again that he's committed to bringing the concerns of American people have and Congress returning solutions to them. Blah-bitty, 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 blah. I'm not going to play with this stupid bitch thinks, but still, nonetheless, it is what it is. And yes, I called her a stupid bitch. It's probably disrespectful, so I'm going to double down and call her a stupid bitch again. Hank Johnson just entered the chambers. So we now have 434. 218 is what is required to win. If everyone votes for a person, 217 wins the speakership. Here is where Mike Johnson releases a list of spending cut promises to secure the gavel. Now, this very well may be what part of this whole game is, right? A couple people hold back their votes, and this is a means of trying to get Johnson to agree to certain MAGA things that maybe Johnson has been resistant to. Very possible. I'm not going to say yes, no. I'm not going to say we don't know all the facts right now. In fact, to a large extent, we don't even know how this is played out. I'm very curious to see if they've even had a second vote by the time I have gotten this far into my recording. I'll probably do a quick double check before we close out the show entirely. But again, concerning. But where this played out, and like I said, 217, 218, whatever the case is, right now Jeffries has managed to get 214 in the first vote. 214 to 210. 3 points, 3 votes. 3 votes away from giving Hakeem Jeffries the slowest speaking individual on the planet. Maybe second to Clay Higgins, hard to say. But literally 3 votes away from giving the Democrats the speakership. Massie, you better know what you're doing, you dumb piece of shit, because otherwise you will never get voted again in office. Ever. You need to come out and explain what stupid thoughts are going through that stupid head of yours, because you are putting us at huge risk. And I don't hear you making any claims. I don't hear you making any asks. I don't hear you doing anything other than saying we can cut your fingers off, which, okay, that's what we got to do. Again, I'm never okay with violence. It's your stupid words coming out of your stupid face and your stupid spokeshole. So again, whatever. Yes, I'm pissed off at this dude. This one got me fired up today. So again, and there's some lady there, the Virginia Islands delegate, Stacey Plaskett. She's like pissed off that we don't give a shit what they think. And no offense, they're territories. You guys aren't states, you're territories. So yeah, you really don't get to play in these reindeer games. I'm sorry if you want to and you feel like you should be able to. If you guys want to be all on your own, then all right, go be on your own then. Whatever the case is, your vote doesn't matter. And so shut up. Ethics Office suggests full-scale House ethics investigation into Rep. Andy Ogles. I don't know, they're going to look into some campaign finance stuff. He supposedly wrote down that he gave himself a loan of $320,000 and then ended up changing it to $20,000. Now they're going to look into it and see if he's lied. He's a Republican, so the Congressional Ethics Committee is going to dig into him and all that nonsense. So there you go. So experts are warning of new terrorist drone threats in the U.S. after New Orleans. More of the fear porn, but something that's sort of possible. is these drones that are being manufactured by the thousands per day, and many places are making thousands of these drones per day. These are the same drones that are being used to drop munitions, bombs, explosives on the battlefield in Ukraine and Russia. They're saying, and it's just a short period of time before these exact same drones are going to be let loose in this country, doing God knows what. I mean, if they've been to Fort Bragg, they're probably all going to have grenades or some sort of explosives or something like that on them. And what's going on with Fort Bragg, we better get to the bottom of all that. We got a major attack happening against this country right now. And again, just something to keep in mind. I know there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, if a drone shows up near my house, I'm going to shoot it. Please know that whatever you aim your gun at, make sure there's nothing downrange, because if you go shooting and you've got a neighbor's house on the other side of that barrel, you're going to injure someone. So you can't just go and start shooting at stuff, and what goes up comes down. So I thought about that. I was like, good God, what if one of these things just started hovering outside of like my window? That'd freak me out, you know? So this is a legitimate question, a legitimate concern. And right now we've got nobody that's actually looking out for us. This is, been kind of a grim day in the news, unfortunately. EU's von der Leyen, she's canceled engagements. She's apparently gotten pneumonia. Von der Leyen, highly recommend a couple things. One, get on remdesivir as soon as possible, and then get yourself on one of those breathing things, right? Yeah. Then you're going to be set. You'll be set, von der Leyen. Yeah, make sure you get the remdesivir, and then have them put you on, what are those breathing machines called? The ones that almost immediately kill you? Yeah. That's my suggestion. That's what you guys suggested for everybody else that got COVID and stuff. So I'm just saying, let's go ahead and use that treatment on you, and the respirator or whatever they are. Right? We'll get you all back up to good there, von der Leyen. Elon Musk posted this. This is the same media that hid the fact that 250,000 little girls were still are being systematically raped by migrant gangs in Britain. They are beneath contempt, despicable human beings. He's referring to Tommy Robinson. There are a lot of people in England that are like, get Tommy out of jail. So again, they're trying to bring this to the surface, especially in England. It's funny, I almost played a video. There's two Brits that are funny guys, Mission Impossible and the guy that plays Superman. And they were talking about just funny English words, and like what they mean. So it was like teaching Americans how to speak British. Which is also funny. It reminds me of Eddie Izzard. Speak British to my kid. He's like, this is British? Well, I speak English. Hello? Like, it's a very funny bit. But all said, we are in a place where we're trying to release the information of the horrible evils that have been happening. Britain's notorious for it, especially the royals. It's one of the infamous pictures of that kid crawling out of the window. I think some said that was fake. I think it was not fake. I think it was something from many, many years prior. But whatever the case is, the royals have definitely been caught up in this a bunch. And again, we need to see a lot of that cleaned up. And I forget the other dude with the cigar, that giant eyebrows. He's this sick bastard that's also from out there. And again, we've got plenty of our own nasty people. I'm not trying to say Britain's got the leg up on the slimy parts of society. No, I think we both do very well, but yeah, this is kind of a mess. So hopefully they can get Tommy out of jail and also make a difference. I want to remind you guys of Pet Club 247. Just incredible products. This mushroom, Coriolus versicolor, very much highly recommend it. It helps your immune system tremendously, and it also has a lot of healing effects, even anti-cancer effects. I had Baby Trump on my show many, many months, few years back, and he talked about how essentially had a throat tumor. He was taking insane amounts of these, just copious quantities of these pills, eating probably 8, 10, 12 of them a day. And through that process and prayer, he was able to, the tumor disappeared. I've got another gentleman that's actually been talking about his stage 4 and the fact that he's actually seeing positive results as well from taking large quantities of this. I've got some friends that have animals that are on the unhealthier side. They're seeing some benefits. I have one good friend, Nana's Little Corner. She's talking about how her oldest cat, I want to say she's 16, she's not able to eat the liver treats anymore. She's spitting them up or throwing them up, not enjoying them. The other cats are loving them, but sometimes, I guess, depending on how your stomach is, it's maybe not always going to work perfectly. But they've got these products, this Coriolus versicolor, in a number of different places, sauces, if you will, or cookies. When it comes to dogs, the mush puppies is the real common way. It's a really inexpensive way to start getting this mushroom into your dog. And your dogs are going to love it. They're cookies. Cats don't like cookies. Dogs like cookies. But this is the Mojos. So dogs and cats are, big Mojos. It's a liver treat, and it's got that Coriolis versicolor on it. So this works for cats as well as dogs. And then for both cats and dogs, there's different types of food. There's the special sauce. I mean, this is the dog versions, but they've got cat versions. And these are ways that you can actually get that Coriolis versicolor in the food that you feed your animal. And it's a way to try to help get more of that product inside of your animal without necessarily causing them to gain weight or anything. They've got mutt mints for those dogs that have some nasty teeth. And think about that. It also helps with your teeth. And just something to keep in mind for all of us. Your teeth, your mouth, is where your heart health really starts. If your mouth is a mess, your health is a mess. It's just, there's a direct correlation. So make sure their mouths are in a good place too. These mutt mints help. Brushing their teeth helps. And then obviously this gets that Coriolis versicolor in them. And they've got chill doggies. They've got cold treats, if you will. I guess they're like little hot dogs or something like that. And those are another way to get this product into your loved ones. So again, stuff for the kitty cats. We got actually stuff for horses. They got mush ponies, and they got a number of ways you can buy them. You might have a number of horses, and this is a great way to be able to buy a bunch of these. So great products from that standpoint. And of course, humans. Yeah, they've got a whole bunch of these for us. These are awesome. Enforce Plus, and I also do the other Enforce, the green and the yellow are the two I've typically done. Just powerful products. The gummies are super good. In fact, they're right here. The gummies are super good. I need to finish those up. I don't have that many more in there. And they've got this coffee as well, and this coffee actually has the mushroom in it as well. And it's also not got this toxin that exists. It's actually the toxin that makes you immediately have to pee. It's not necessarily that coffee as a diuretic immediately makes you have to pee. It's actually that toxin. And the second it gets into your body's like, ooh, get out, get out, get out. And it immediately starts to try to pee to get whatever that is out. This doesn't have that toxin in it either. The coffee's not cheap, though. I'll be honest with you. So this might just be something that you do once in a while, but it's delicious, that's for sure. And they've also got the yummy chocolate chip cookies, another way to get that Coriolis versicolor inside of you. I think the pills are the easiest way. The gummies are super tasty. Might be the easier way to go. Whatever the case is, you want to go to danradiostyle.petclub247.com. That's danradiostyle.petclub247.com. Get that food inside of you. Get that healthy Coriolis versicolor inside of you and start to see the benefits. Start to see how much healthier you're becoming. It's a powerful product. danradiostyle.petclub247.com. Make sure you take those steps. Sometimes it's the difference between life and death, frankly. South Korean investigators have abandoned their effort to detain impeached President Yoon Suk Yeol. He is, they apparently are not going to arrest him because when they tried to arrest him, a whole crap ton of people showed up and basically said, hell no, we won't go. And so they're like, all right, we're not going to arrest the dude. Again, this feels very deep state. Very deep state. And I think we managed to stop this. I think the dude actually tried to keep them from doing a coup and then got busted for it. I really do think that's what actually happened, especially at this point. Though Biden's buddy-buddy with him, hard to say. He's another foreign leader, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know exactly what all's going on, but right now we've kept him from being able to be arrested. Sounds very much like what happened with Bolsonaro in Brazil, and not cool in any way, shape, or form. That is for sure. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about the outbreak of the bird flu. Eyeing potential bird flu outbreak, Biden administration ramps up preparedness. They are making noise all over the place. They are desperately trying to get everybody to think that something huge is coming. They're going to start pushing hard for testing. They're already starting to do mask mandates in many places. So, folks, it's on its way. This is coming. Now, we've been through this before. I don't think they've got the ability to sell us on this like they have in the past. And this is going to require all of us to show our best side, but at the same time, show what we're made of. Again, you want to have your immune system in as high gear as you possibly can. Bill Gates is talking about doing funding for flying vaccinator mosquitoes. He literally wants to give mosquitoes the mRNA vaccine, so when they go and bite people, they give them the mRNA vaccine. Bill Gates this is a war crime as far as I'm concerned. He's literally trying to come up with ways to force vaccines into people without their say, without their ability, and certainly nothing ever goes well when we start fucking around with nature. So Bill Gates, I very much look forward to the day when they lock that motherfucker up in jail and they throw away the key. Bill Gates, you're toast. And actually what I want to do is I want to give you to Africa. I want Africa to have at you, and they can do whatever the hell they want with you. Give a shit less. Whatever they want to do with you will be perfectly acceptable in my mind. You are a horrible human being. Horrible, horrible human being. And yeah, you deserve the friendliness of Africa. Rudy Giuliani showed up Friday for a contempt hearing to decide whether he has dodged and deceived lawyers trying to recover a $148 million judgment won on behalf of the 2 Georgia election workers. Judge Lewis J. Lyman has said that he may rule at the hearing whether the former New York City mayor faces civil sanctions over his failure to turn over some assets. Giuliani requested a day earlier to appear remotely at the hearing, but he changed his mind and came to court after the judge indicated that making a remote appearance would limit his options at the proceedings. The lawyers claim Giuliani has displayed a consistent pattern of willful defiance of Lyman's October order to give up assets after he was found liable in 2023 for defaming the poll workers by falsely accusing them of tampering with the ballots during the 2020 presidential election. I mean, we did see them pull the thing out from underneath the table, and we did watch them scan multiple times. So it's interesting that this is true. But, I mean, again, I'm not trying to pass judgment on these 2 individuals, but that's just what we saw in the videos all. They said in court papers earlier this week that he has turned over a Mercedes-Benz and his New York apartment, but not the paperwork necessary to monetize the assets. And they said he has failed to surrender valuable watches and sports memorabilia, including a signed Joe DiMaggio shirt, and not a single dollar from his non-exempt cash accounts. So, yeah, he's still dragging his feet. And I think he's honestly just trying to get far enough along on this to where Trump is in office, though I don't know if Trump can pardon that or anything. I don't think so. It's like a civil thing, so I don't think he can do that, but whatever. We'll see how this continues to play out. This is really messed up, the way this is happening, and maybe the Attorney General of the United States can actually do something. So, again, there's options. We've got to keep our minds open and just get that far if we can, and see if we can keep a frickin' Speaker of the House so we can actually, get people in office and actually certify and all that stuff, the appointments and all that, right? So we got a whole bunch that we're trying to get through. This is a mess. Biden's blocking Japan's Nippon Steel from acquiring U.S. steel. I'm glad of this. I don't know why Biden's doing this. I feel like he would have given up this company in a heartbeat. Again, I mean, I love Japan and everything, don't get me wrong, but I don't like the idea of a foreign country owning our steel production. That was one of the things that made us amazingly great back in the day. Japan does supposedly make very good steel, best I understand, but I don't want them running our steel companies, and I hope Trump can kind of keep this going. I don't know, whatever the case is, Biden stopped this $15 billion takeover. It's probably, in my opinion, a good thing. Meta is going to appoint Republican Joel Kaplan to lead global policy team as Nick Clegg steps down. This Joel Kaplan fella, he is from the Bush clan, George W. Bush. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's deep state, but whatever. Maybe he's changed. Again, I want to see what he does now. But it definitely does sort of show that indication that Meta is actually trying to move in a direction that seems more positive, maybe. I don't trust. I have a hard time with trust. I certainly don't like Facebook, don't like Instagram, don't trust either of them, don't trust TikTok, don't trust YouTube. And again, I apologize for all the people that watch on YouTube. It's so funny how much stuff YouTube makes me cut out of my videos. That's why you really would rather watch on Rumble or BitChute. It's a much better idea. So if you aren't watching me there, you might want to, because you're going to see a very different show. I don't censor myself. YouTube asks me to censor parts of my videos, and so I do it. They make it easy for me to do, and I'm fine playing the game with them, whatever the case is. I've only got like 2,000 people over there, so it's not that big a deal. But still, nonetheless, we'll see how these things continue to play out. I have zero trust for so much of these different organizations. Judicial body won't refer Clarence Thomas to the Justice Department over ethics lapses. The head of the Judicial Conference said there is legal uncertainty over whether it has the authority to refer complaints about the Supreme Court justices. There are equal branches of government, and they are all able to kind of oversee each other, if you will, checks and balances. but they don't have power over the other branches either. That's one thing that the judicial branch does seem to have a hard time coming to terms with, that they're not above the executive, and they're certainly not above the the courts. That's judicial, sorry, right? But obviously the legislative, there we go, branch is, they like to think of themselves a little further up the food chain. We're all equal legs of the stool. Stool's three-legged stool. You don't need to have four. It's kind of funny. Someone had made a point one time that you have to have a fourth leg. It's like, no, you don't. 3 legs works just fine. If you've got any doubts, look up a thing called the Space Needle in Seattle. You'll notice it's got 3 legs. It's actually supposed to be one of the safest buildings to be in during an earthquake. It will move quite a bit. It will freak you out, but it will stand and it will survive. It's a very strong structure that's been through lots of earthquakes throughout the years. So again, it's kind of funny. You just need 3 legs for a stool to stand. Joe Biden gets the priciest gifts from foreign leaders in 2023. She got a $20,000 diamond from India's Modi. She also got, she got a $14,000 brooch, I think is how you say this. A Ukrainian ambassador to the United States gave that. She got a photograph album that was worth $4,500 from the First Lady of Egypt. So, yeah, she's done all right. $7,100 gift from South Korea's recently impeached President Suk Yeol-yoon. So, yeah, all that stuff is interesting, right? Like, her and Joe have gotten all sorts of cool, fun gifts for free. I mean, they have to admit them, and that's how we found out about them. But other than that, and they have to get taxed on them, which, I don't know. Hunter doesn't pay taxes. But Palm Bay's shocking fluoride ban is leaving residents divided on health and government trust. I actually like this. I think this is the right way to go about it in the big picture. Palm Bay City Council voted to remove fluoride from the city tap water, sparking all sorts of debates. There's like, all this long-standing tradition about how it's good for your teeth. Great. Here's the thing. Don't force people to take it, and that's what their argument is, and I think it's a wonderful argument. Don't force people to take poison in their water. Offer it up. You want to make it free or give it cheap or whatever, be like, all right, you come down, or you want to just go to this website and we'll send you fluoride tablets and you can eat them all day long, give them to your kids all day long, whatever the case is. A lot of studies indicate that they do affect the intelligence of our children. Also some effects that they don't necessarily always help us the way that they try to sell us on it. And you got to really look into, where did all this fluoride come from? How did we end up with an abundance of fluoride? And many people understand that to be part of the nuclear weapons production, as well as the production of fertilizers and things along those lines. The fluoride is a component of that, or a byproduct of that. So we end up with this waste from all sorts of different industries. And then they try to figure out, well, can we put this in the food? Can we put this in the water? And that's what they do, literally. All these poisons, all this waste, they just start putting it in our food, in our water. This is where a lot of these chemicals have come from. So that was a big victory. And at the same time, it's getting us talking about it too. That's kind of a cool thing. And Justin Duchamp, I think this is the last. This is pretty cool. Joe Rogan's talking about this new Stanford study. It's talking about this ibogaine. This is for people that have with the PTSD, right? When you get extreme anxiety, they're actually finding that this particular study and this particular medicine is not only, 1, extraordinarily helpful, 2, it sounds like it's not addictive, and 3, it sounds like it actually will remove addictive behaviors in people. This is pretty cool. Check this out.
It has there's no potential whatsoever for addiction to that drug. As a matter of fact, it actually cures addiction. Somehow or another, it rewires the brain.
Because of the miraculous outcomes which were endorsed by the veterans who were receiving this treatment, a group of philanthropists funded a study out of Stanford University, which was led by Dr. Nolan Williams. And over the course of several years, a cohort of 30 veterans were evaluated before and after ibogaine treatment. They were evaluated comprehensively through the administration of a battery of psychological tests to quantify the nature and duration of their symptoms. They underwent pre- and post-treatment MRI scans. These scans were compared against a database which had been compiled of hundreds of thousands of healthy adult brains covering the human lifespan. And through an algorithmic assessment, the question was, what was the physiological effect upon the human brain, if any, to explain these miraculous outcomes were veterans who had been on the verge of suicide, who had been paralyzed by symptomatology associated with profound anxiety, profound depression. In many cases, veterans who were prescribed an array of habituating pharmacology which ineffectively addressed their symptomatology were not just back to what they could remember being before they experienced their trauma, but had been liberated from that pharmacology. The results of that study are nothing short of miraculous when it comes to the way in which ibogaine has been revealed to have significant neuroregenerative properties that impact the human brain, with profound implications for conditions for which there are no current effective treatments. Specifically, the white matter that covers the surface of our brains, which is the highway across which all of our thoughts and impulses travel, grew and thickened in size across the entire surface of each of these veterans' brains. The centers of the brain responsible for emotional regulation and executive functioning grew in size. The average reversal of brain age among this cohort of 30 veterans was 1.5 years, with the top 5 among that cohort seeing a reversal of brain age of almost 5 years.
Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive indeed. I love talking. I love listening to smart people talk. I don't know what it is. It's yeah, the words are impressive. Apple agrees to pay $95 million to settle a Siri privacy law. There was a lawsuit that happened because Siri was recording and then passing information along to advertisers without the permission of the users. They were very easily able to pin it down to Siri doing this. I just know with a bunch of people I know that have iPhones, you can't really turn it off. Your phones definitely listen to you. All you got to do is talk about different products. Literally, just talk about different products around your phone, and then the next time you open up any sort of web browser or YouTube or any of those apps, look to see what advertisements immediately show up. It is because your phone listens to you. You may not care. Many of you guys don't. You're like, I got nothing to hide, whatever. Some of us do. I turn all that shit off on my phone. I don't have an iPhone. I can keep my phone from listening to me, and I know for a fact that it's not listening to me because it doesn't know how to send advertisements that it hears me talking about. So again, one of the many reasons why I dislike Apple. Again, I'm not trying to be a dick. I know a lot of you guys love the phones. They're sexy. The screens are cool. I get you. I just don't trust them at all. That's all. Which is, for me, is a big deal. I know a lot of people don't worry about that kind of stuff at all like I do. I want to point this out because this pisses me off, and this is something that's happening a lot, and this is our final little UFO story. But this is an example of what I think a lot of people will read this and maybe watch the video, maybe not, but they'll read this and they'll say, drones the size of buses are still invading New Jersey as experts reveal why crisis has gone silent. While officials report of eerie drone-like UFOs dropped over the holidays, New Jersey residents are still coming forward with bizarre encounters. 2 witnesses in Manalapan Township, for example, videotaped a bus-sized 25 to 50-foot long black triangle. First off, that's a TR-3B, if that's what it is. That's not a drone. It's a TR-3B. But that's a black triangle that's been famous since the X-Files. And they pull off a high G-force maneuvers, yes, because they have anti-gravitics going on with them. There's all sorts of fun studies you can dig into on those. But the sighting, which lasted at least 1 minute, so, okay, this is a minute-long video. The sighting, which lasted at least 1 minute, ended with the object zooming in the general direction of McGuire Joint Base, McGuire, Dix, Lakehurst, wherever, matching a persistent pattern of drone UFO incursions over U.S. bases in recent years. Another New Jersey skywatcher recorded what they describe as a classic flying saucer with an aura or haze around the object just 3 miles off the coast of the Atlantic City, right? You read all of this stuff, and you're like, wow, this has got to be some really cool video, right? No. Here's the video. One, it's blurry as shit. We're going to watch the entire minute, because remember, it zooms off. Get ready for the zooming part. The zooming part's awesome. So we're still 50 seconds towards the end, I guess, where the zooming's going to happen. Get ready for the zoom, because it zooms like a Mazda. Yeah, I used to have a Mazda. That was pretty cool. Zoom, zoom. Actually, I had 2 Mazdas. They're fun cars. I actually like them. All set. Yes, zoom, zoom. Now, this thing is large. Okay, I'll give you that. It's a shit video. Okay. You can sort of see a black ring around it. Okay. Don't know what it is. Very strange looking. I'll give you that. Very strange looking. Now it's moving, which is interesting, but okay. 15 seconds for the zoom zoom. Get ready. Get ready. Now it's just Pac-Manning on us, but get ready. Get ready. Yep. Nope. Get ready. Seriously, get ready. Here comes the zoom zoom. Get ready. Here comes the zoom zoom. Here comes the zoom zoom. Yep. No fucking zoom zoom. Nope. No zoom zoom. At all. This kind of shit is weird. And again, you can zoom in on stuff and make it look weird. It's certainly blurry. The rest of everything is blurry in this. I don't understand why people can't take decent video. We've got some of the finest cameras and video cameras on our phones that are possible. Another good reason to own a Samsung, by the way. It's got superior cameras to the iPhone. But all said, why can't we seem to get good video of this stuff? Just seems bizarre to me. Bizarre. I don't know, whatever the case is. Got some Billy Joel happening. It's going to be a fun Billy Joel hour plus of music today. I hope you guys are ready for that. And finishing off this great week in this first week of the new year. And hopefully you guys are going to join us on that. We have a great community that loves to chit-chat and certainly talk about a lot of stuff. So it's going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to doing that. Hopefully you guys will join us. Oh, and let's do a quick verification here. Okay, so it looks like they got one more vote. Johnson's at 216. Jeffries at 215. Still one vote shy. Massie, you fuck. You worthless piece of shit. 218. So it looks like Johnson got it. Reps Norman and Self have changed their votes on the first round to Johnson. Mike Johnson has been elected the speaker. Oh, my God, thank you. Oh, shit, man. I was worried about that. I was worried about that. Holy crap. So, yes. Whew, 218 to 215. Massie, you're still a giant-ass pile of shit, and I will not let you ever live that down. I don't know what you were doing, but that was dangerous. Dangerous waters. Oh, thank God. Whew, thank God. So, yes, Johnson made it. Thank the frickin' Lord. Folks, we're going to do this. We're changing the world, and we're doing it together. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.